It's Luke and Naomi.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and happy Valentine's Day.
Yay!
Yeah, it's Valentine's Day right now as we're recording. It's episode 35.
It's the day of love.
35.
Yeah.
Pretty
that's
solid. Yeah, and the day of love, yes. Well, I mean, I'm envisioning somebody listening to this on Thursday and going, yeah, I'm so done with that already.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really think about that.
So we have not done much for Valentine's Day except for Naomi made a really, really nice dinner. Now, if you don't know, generally I cook dinner.
Yeah, Luke always cooks dinner. Luke is the better cook out of the two of us. And also, I am lazy. So usually I do not make food. But I had the day off today. So I was like, you know what? I've got some time. I can, throw something together with stuff that we have here. So, yeah.
Very cool. It was delicious.
Good.
I
I'm
really
glad you liked
it.
it.
It was a lot of fun to not have to come home and cook dinner, too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Definitely dug that.
That's like the best part of it. It doesn't matter what I cooked. It's the fact that you didn't have to cook tonight.
Yeah.
Ooh, win
Very
there.
cool. Very cool. Excellent Valentine's Day. So there's that. And that's about it, I think, with the Valentine's Day stuff. Nothing really else, major to talk about or...
No, we got some Reese's peanut butter cups. That's
right.
going to be our romantic Valentine's Day dessert.
The heart-shaped ones, of course.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do it right.
And so other than that, I think a lot of people have seen the video on Facebook, which I am just cussing at Facebook all week long. Snowman pointed out that the end of the video got cut off.
Ah, the video you put up, yes.
So we, through some backdoor deals and some secret channels and stuff like that, scored ourselves this burger box from True Blue Butcher and Barrel. And they're down on Greenfield Street here in Wilmington, and they are amazing. They're a whole chain. There's three of them. There's Butcher and Barrel, Butcher and Table, and Butcher and Baker. And so they all specialize. Butcher and Table's more of a restaurant. Butcher and Baker has the baked goods.
Yeah.
Which we've had some of those brownies before. Oof.
Oh, my goodness. It wasn't even like a brownie. It was just fudge. It was so chocolatey and delicious and amazing.
Yeah, amazing. So now there's Butcher and Barrel, and they have basically the butcher shop and the really nice bar in there, and you can go and have, a small bite. I think they do meals. I'm not even positive. Because the big draw is the butcher shop.
Yeah.
So I was doing some work over there and ended up leaving with one of their DIY smash burger kits.
Yes.
Which is just amazing. If you haven't seen the video, it had, everything. The burgers, bacon, 2 kinds of cheese.
Seasoning to go on everything.
Yeah, some sauce for the burgers.
Like they
toppings.
took care of everything. You did not have to buy anything or basically do anything. The instructions were there too, in case you had no idea what you were doing.
Yeah, and they're not overly, they're not crazy expensive either for the quality that you get because, I mean, they're a butcher shop, so they take all the trimmings from their cuts and grind them up and give you delicious burgers from them.
Yeah, yeah.
So we got to try the burger box. That was a lot of fun. And if you only saw the Facebook video where the end got cut off because Facebook Reels was only 90 seconds long.
Which I did not know that. I
did not know either until I found out,
the hard way.
Trial by error. What the hell? Anyway, thanks for pointing that out, Snowman, because otherwise I would have just figured everybody watched the end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd have no idea that everybody missed the actual burger presentation when we were done. Yeah.
So I shared the link to the TikTok video.
There you go.
If you really want to see it, which would be cool.
Yeah.
Give us the views and likes and all of that stuff.
We'll
Of
take
course,
them. Yeah.
We love all that. But those burgers were, whoo, boy.
I don't like talking about them because we just ate dinner and I'm already hungry again.
They were so good. Some of the best burgers. And I hate saying it was some of the best burgers I've ever had because I cooked them.
Yeah.
But
they were
not bad at all. Oh, man. Fantastic. The bacon was good. The sides, the vegetables, the potatoes. It was all fantastic. So that was like the precursor to our Super Bowl weekend, which we didn't do much right up until the Super Bowl.
Yeah. We didn't do like anything this weekend.
No, it was fantastic.
I'm okay with weekends like that.
Yeah.
That's like 2 weekends in a row that we didn't really do a lot. And again, completely okay with that.
After the holiday season, it was really nice to get to do with nothing.
Yeah.
A little cleaning here and there and all that, but
considering like the next couple of weeks are going to start picking up and we're going to have a lot more going on, different events. Like this weekend's already booked, and it's nice to have a couple weekends where being lazy is our number one priority.
Most definitely. So yeah, then the Super Bowl we spent at our friend Tom and Jennifer's house, and they put out a spread that I'm
Oh my
still full
gosh.
from.
Tom and Jen always have so much food at their house, and it's always all amazing. And then they always offer, like, hey, do you want to take some to go? And usually we're just like, no, it's okay, whatever. They had hoagies there for like halftime, and we were full, so we didn't get to have them. And it was like, do you want to take one home? And it's like, yes.
Yes, so much. So that was our dinner last night.
Yeah. And I thought, like, I was like, oh, we'll take one, and Luke and I can split it. And Luke's like, no. Let's each have one.
I had just eaten one.
Yes.
So I knew how good they were.
You knew how good they were. I took a bite out of Luke's and was like, yeah, we got to take some of this home. And then the chili. Oh my gosh, the chili.
The
amazing.
food was amazing. And if anybody's been listening to Luke and Naomi long enough, I'm very, very happy with the outcome.
Yes.
Of the Super Bowl itself.
Yes.
It was a good game, definitely. Right up till the end. I mean, you weren't happy that they knelt on the football for the last minute and a half, but that's football. I don't, after the holding penalty at the end that everybody's all mad about. Listen, if that was Dallas and they called the holding penalty on them, I would be mad too and calling, conspiracy like all the Eagles fans are doing and stuff like that. But as a non-Philadelphia fan,
you were okay with it.
Well, it was a penalty.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy who did it said it himself, and it just was. It's a bummer that it was, a ticky-tack penalty that, but hey, you got to call him. So a lot of people have just been complaining about that, just left and right, and
I mean, that's what happens after every Super Bowl. There's a million complaints and, what was messed up and all of this. And if this happened, the game would have been completely different. And yeah, that's what life is.
Yeah, for sure. So,
I did not actually pay that much attention to the game. I watched it and I paid attention like a little bit, but I was distracted talking and eating and having adult sodas. And I remember at one point I looked at the screen and went, wait a minute. When did, I don't even remember. When did the Chiefs score a touchdown again? Like, I was staring at the screen, but I was busy talking and not actually taking in the information that I was watching. So
something like 60% of Americans or something like that were not actually paying attention to the Super Bowl. The numbers are really up 48%.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere around half anyway, for real.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Good game. I'm happy with the outcome. It was a lot of fun. What'd you think of the halftime show?
Meh.
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 You're not a big Rihanna fan, though.
Yeah, out of all, like, pop music that I do like, she may have, like, 2 songs that I like, but she was never one that I really liked. I actually believe I can get down to more Taylor Swift music than Rihanna.
No kidding.
And if you know me, that is saying a lot.
Yeah, that's something.
I don't know. I just have never been a big fan of her. I liked the setup, like the crazy platforms, like floating in the sky and then them moving and all that. I didn't understand the outfit, but I mean,
apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but I scrolled by something today that said that was a like giant homage to somebody I've never heard of. I don't know if it's a fashion designer or fashion icon or something like that.
All I know is I thought it looked funny. So
yeah, a little bit.
I apologize if that's, mean or whatever, but I was just like, it just looked like a poofy snowsuit kind of thing that was just way too big.
Yeah, like a robe snowsuit combo.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was
not a fan of that, but I mean, whatever.
The platforms were cool.
Was the
though.
Coolest thing.
They were moving up and down and stuff like that, and they were tethered on there. Which they weren't trying to hide that or anything, but it was crazy to think of because, man.
So all in all, not the best halftime show, not the worst one.
Definitely not the worst one.
But I didn't care for it. There have been quite a few other halftime shows that I've been really on board with. Even ones that people are like, oh man, that one was terrible. I'm like, I thought it was great, But this one I just. Maybe because again I'm not a huge fan of the music, so I guess I just couldn't get behind it.
I really don't know anything about Rihanna at all.
Yeah.
but I found that several of her songs were recognizable.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I have heard that song, you know, out and
because
about.
she's had a lot of hit music.
Yeah,
you
apparently.
know?
I just found that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So pretty cool. You know, again, didn't pay as much attention to that because, you know, talking and eating and all of that. This was, I mentioned, I think last week, this is the first Super Bowl that we haven't been at our place.
Yeah.
And then I haven't been out of my house since 1994,
Yeah.
which is just crazy. Did you pay much attention to any of the commercials? Did you get any of those?
Not really. There was a few. And shoot, I'm trying to remember the one that I was like, oh, well, they did a better job of that. That was entertaining, and I don't even remember what it was. The Will Ferrell and like GM one.
It was GM, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Not a fan. I felt like they just tried too hard with it.
Yeah, where he ran through like every one of Netflix's shows or all the popular shows of the time.
Yeah, Stranger Things and
Bridgerton, Army of the Dead, Squid Game.
Yeah, all that stuff. And then the Tubi one that everybody's been talking about.
Yeah.
That everyone's like, hey, did you think that somebody, sat on the remote or all of that kind of stuff? And I was like, what the heck is everyone talking about? Because I didn't see it.
No clue.
I had no idea. So I purposely watched this commercial. I went on YouTube to watch this commercial, watched it, and maybe because I sought it out, I didn't think, I wouldn't have thought that I would have realized it was a commercial.
Yeah.
But again, I think that's because I sought it out.
Yeah.
Now, if you're just talking among friends and all of a sudden the TV changes,
I can see
people getting real mad real fast, going, who's got the remote?
Handful of people that I can think of right off the top of my head that, I used to watch football with for years that would just have lost their minds if they noticed out of the corner of their eye that was happening.
Yeah.
Hey, they're on the game and something's going on,
Yes.
Yeah.
So
clever.
I can see it being believable and that happening, and now I understand why everybody was talking about it. But unfortunately, I didn't see it happen in real time, so I did not get that same experience.
The other big ones that everybody's talking about, Ben Affleck as the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru
That was the first
worker.
Commercial, wasn't it?
Yeah, I actually missed that one. I missed the return of Cher from Clueless too for Rakuten.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
That's a bummer that I didn't see. But I mean, again, I'm talking about commercials here. The other big ones were Ant-Man for Heineken, Paul Rudd as Ant-Man for Heineken.
I saw that today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it during the Super Bowl, but I saw it today.
Jennifer Coolidge did an ad for Elf Cosmetics or ELF Cosmetics or something like that.
Cool. I'm sad I missed that one,
Jennifer
too.
Coolidge just had that big run on White Lotus, of course, if you don't know that. And then I think the most popular one was the Breaking Bad
Popcorners. Yes.
reunion. That's what I'm trying to come up with.
I loved that. That was great.
It was a pretty good one, too. And then at the end, they bring in Tuco and, he freaks out and all that stuff. So that was really good. We were talking about that at work today, and somebody went ahead and pulled it up, and we were listening to Tuco, They're like, there's 6 flavors. And he's like, 7! Make 7!
Yep.
So that was probably my best one. So pretty good Super Bowl, I think, overall.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, anyway. So there you go. That's basically what's been going on with us for the last week or so.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah, that is definitely a good thing. No news is good news. All right, let's get to some random facts for the week. Your weekly dose of Did You Know? How about that? Nailed it.
You did.
Did. All right. Did you know the Spice Girls were originally going to be called Touch?
Ugh.
Yeah, and their 5th member was a woman named Melanie Coloma, not Victoria Beckham.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't go with that. Spice Girls just worked. Touch, that's just...
That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
think it would take off the way they did.
Yeah. Did you know Arby's was the first fast food chain to ban smoking in its locations in 1994?
Did not know that.
I didn't know, but you thinking back and it's like, oh yeah, okay, that kind of, now that I think about it, sure, okay. Did you know that according to a study out of Harvard, adults spend as much as 47% of their waking lives letting their minds wander?
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
How about that?
Sometimes you just gotta kind of zone out and not be thinking about work or what you have to do or things like that.
Daydream. Yeah. Did you know softball was originally called kitten ball?
That's cute.
And finally, did you know in the 1930s, before the breathalyzer was invented, police used something called the drunkometer or the drunkometer? That's what it looks like when it's written down, but probably pronounced drunkometer. It was a big device that required a person to blow into a balloon.
Okay.
So we really haven't come too much far with the technology at this point. It's just
I guess not.
the drunkometer is just much smaller.
The drunkometer is much smaller?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
because this was a huge one, and then, now it's not a balloon, it's just a tank, but it's still the same,
Thing.
yeah. You
Yeah.
still got to blow into a device.
There you go.
So, all of that. There you go. That is your weekly dose of Did You Know? So,
Those were terrible.
yeah, you didn't.
Those
you
were
didn't
like
them?
the worst random facts that we've done since we've been doing the podcast, I think.
All right.
I didn't like any of them.
I didn't mind them. I could get more if you want me to get more.
No. I'm going to sit here and just be mad at those ones.
All right.
It'll give me something to look forward to next week.
Don't take a solution at all.
Nah.
I found one more thing before we get to the answers to last week's homework. So I saw this the other day. It's crazy. Researchers from North Carolina State University are suggesting that we eventually add another color to stoplights.
Why?
Another, a fourth color. Doesn't really matter what color. They suggest white, though. The idea is because of self-driving cars. Basically, as the more automated cars that are on the road, they'll be able to, communicate, talk with each other, link up, and all of that stuff. And they'll be able to sync with the traffic lights.
Okay.
So basically, they will do all that and coordinate and optimize the traffic flow all over the place. So if you're driving your regular car and there's like a chain of self-driving cars, the idea that they're proposing is you get right behind them if the light is, lavender or whatever they go with.
Okay. Huh.
So if the light is, they suggest white. I don't know why or care, but if the light is that color, you pop in line with those guys and just go with their flow, and you're gonna get through traffic better. I can really see that going over well. Yeah.
Anytime they do anything with traffic, it does not go over well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're going to have to work out a lot of bugs before something like that
Absolutely
actually takes off.
But the idea is, if we could get everybody on board and used to it and do this, it would almost eliminate stopping for a few minutes at a red light when nobody's coming, nobody's around.
Which would be nice, because there's nothing more frustrating than sitting at that light, waiting to turn left, and there's just nobody around.
Yeah.
And you sit there for like 5 minutes and go, can I run this?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely have been there. And if you live in rural areas, that's even... But
Yes.
yeah, so basically that would, if there's a bunch of the automated cars around, they would turn the light white, and then you just follow the ones in front of you.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's an
I don't know
interesting
how
idea.
I feel about that yet.
In theory, it's
Yeah.
a pretty good idea. It's a long way off, though, because there would have to be almost a majority of automated cars on the road for this to work out.
Actually work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So there you go. That's the goofy AI, basically the AI report of the week. How about
Yeah.
that?
Something a little less scary.
A little
I'll
bit.
take it.
Yeah, for sure. So that's going to bring us to the answers to the homework from last week.
That's right. Did you do your homework?
This was a fun one. Liked this one. If you're new to the podcast, you can do the homework just right on Luke and Naomi on air on Facebook. That's where you can leave the answer. We want to know what's one thing you would treat yourself to regularly if money was no object.
Yeah, this was a good one.
So some cool answers. I think, a lot of answers that you would probably guess if you were going to guess, what people would answer. Snowman, of course, started us off. Ammo and range time.
Oh, there you go.
Putting
Yeah.
a little lead down range apparently is a nice treat to everybody.
Yeah.
Plus, we know how expensive that stuff is. So.
Yeah.
Tina says traveling or cruising, and I love that she threw in cruising on the end because she knows we're getting ready to do the cruise thing ourselves. So she
That's
definitely
right.
traveling or cruising.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see if we really like the cruise thing and want to keep doing that.
I'm kind of curious. I guess it just depends on how it all plays out. And, my biggest concern, though, is just being annoyed with way too many other people. There's going to be a lot of people on this ship. And sometimes I want to, do my own thing.
Samesies.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Todd, the human laser tag target, says travel. Just give me a credit card with no limit, no payments, and I'll be on the other side of the world every other month. He says I might even learn
Yes.
something on the way.
That's a great one, though. Because, I mean, I think that's a big deal, being able to travel. And the biggest thing that holds us back from it is not being able to afford it,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. David Palmer just says Jameson.
All right.
After, park the truck first, though, David. Park the truck first and then break into the Jameson. I love it. What a good answer. Just simple to the point. Mark Delore from New York says cruises.
Cruises. Another one.
Straight up. And they do the Disney thing, I think, a lot.
Yeah.
El Wevo asks if this is family friendly.
It doesn't have to be.
I said, give us what you got. We're well versed in editing El Wevo comments.
Yeah.
And nothing from him yet, though.
Oh, Wevo, come on. Got our hopes up for something juicy and good, and then just nothing.
Let's see here. Dan says weed.
Okay.
But he said it with a question mark. Maybe he meant an exclamation point. I don't know. He is in Virginia after all,
Weed?
so yeah.
Question mark?
Is that an option? I suppose if you're in the right place.
Yeah.
Dorsey just says trips or vacations. A lot of travel, big one for sure. Let's see here. Relika says kids in good schools, personal chef and trainer, lots of traveling, books and shoes and clothes and cars and.
A personal chef. That's where I got hung up. Oh my goodness.
Personal chef.
Yeah.
Not a bad answer. That's a great idea too, because it's just like, give me something good today and make me think it's fried chicken.
Not only that, but make it good and have it ready for me when I get home from work, so we don't have to spend that time, like after we get home, making dinner and then eating it. And then, like our night is pretty much gone. You got to go to bed and get ready for work the next morning and all that stuff. No, I want a personal chef that's going to make really, really tasty food that's good for me, and I don't have to wait for it. Bam, it's right there.
Treat yourself too regularly if money was no object. So yeah, the meals, the personal chef, absolutely. Let's see. Ed says traveling and massages.
Oh, yeah. That was my answer last week. Massages.
Just straight up massage.
I would have my own masseuse.
Masseuse.
Yeah. She can stay in the second bedroom and just...
Massage.
I was going to try to make up a name and I got nothing. I was like, Mary? Is that a masseuse name? Hey, Mary, get over here. My shoulders are tight.
Hey, masseuse.
Well, I felt like that was rude. She needed a name. Mary will do.
All I can think of is The Office. So, Paul says he'd go to concerts of his favorite bands all the time, no matter where they were playing in the world, and especially if they were playing at cool venues.
That is a great answer.
That is an awesome one. The concert thing is...
Yes.
That's a big one.
That, and you could have beers there, and they wouldn't cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah, that's
because money is no object here.
Any way you want to slice it. You front row, skybox, personal service, whatever you want. Travel to and fro, all of that.
I'm going to be sitting right on the stage, like off to the side. That's my spot.
Just in a director's chair.
Yeah, this is my spot. I paid $50,000 for this. Why?
With the
because
foam
I
dome
can.
on, the beer hat.
Yeah. Then I don't have to get up for beer. I'll be set.
I love it. Some great answers. I will take one of each.
Yeah.
How about that? Did you want to add anything other than the massages?
Well, my answer last week, again, I gave 50% of the answer, the massages, which you knew. You could guess that right away. The other half, kind of gets thrown out the window with having a personal chef, because I kind of want to steal that. But if I didn't steal that one, the idea was seafood. If money's no object, then I want seafood like at least twice a week.
Flown into you from wherever it's, fresh.
But my personal chef can do that for me.
Handles it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's his job.
Take care of the ordering and making sure, it's cold enough and prepared correctly.
Yep.
And all of that.
And then, lobster one day, scallops another day, shrimp another day. Whatever. I don't care.
I think one for me would be a lot of probably electronics.
You do like your gadgets.
Some sort of gaming rig or something like that. That would be just amazing.
Okay.
But would cost a lot to set up. I mention it every now and then. There's a video that pops up on my social medias, and it's the person doing the Mario Kart. in
Oh,
VR,
yeah.
but they're sitting in an actual, fake cart, but it's the, wheel and pedals and the whole nine.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like you're actually on, Rainbow Road
That would be cool.
cruising
You
around.
need like a VR room that's got all that stuff in there.
Yeah.
So you got free reign where you can like run around and all that, and then have like your little go-kart Mario Kart thing off on the corner. There's a lot you could do.
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it. So yeah, a lot of video gaming stuff
So
for
it basically lose you is what would happen. Like you would get home from work and just be like, I gotta go to the other room and be in there for like 4 hours.
Now, see, that's where the money is no object thing comes in, because once the
yeah.
room is established, the money being no object is all the time I spend in there, so I don't have to go to work. I'll do that. And then
see.
when
Okay.
you're done with work, just let me know, and I'll be out in 20 minutes.
Finding them little loopholes, aren't you? All right.
That's right. That's what we do here.
Okay. All right.
That's what we do with our ridiculously hard-hitting homework topics.
That's right.
Speaking of which, we got another one for next week.
Mm-hmm.
We want to know, we've been doing the Under a Rock reviews for, well, this will be the 10th, I think the 10th one, right?
Oh, wow. Look at that.
We started the reviews around episode 25. I don't know if it was 25, 26, something like that, and it was sort of an impromptu review. So if you do want to go back and check them all out,
They are there.
they are there,
Yeah.
starting around episode 25 or so. But the new homework topic for this week, what movie moment always makes you cry?
It's a good one.
It is. And there are quite a few, I'm sure.
Yeah, I can think of a handful that have made me cry, and I try not to. I try not to get like too emotional
Yeah.
into movies, but once in a while, one gets you, and it's just like you got the tears coming down, and you're trying to wipe them away fast so no one can see that you're falling apart. Yeah, there's a few.
Yep, Spider-Man and Iron Man and Avengers Infinity War.
That's you.
Mr. Stark, I don't want to go.
Aww.
It
I
can.
can see it. Yeah.
I don't mind. I don't mind being moved every now and then, getting
Yeah.
so into something like that. But yeah,
There's
so
nothing wrong with that.
I'll have some answers for this one for sure. I'll start the list as any pop into my head, because there's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, not just Field of Dreams where he has a catch with his dad at the end. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a few. So that's a good one. What movie moments always make you cry?
I've got a few. I've got some, more serious ones where you're like, of course that's gonna make you cry, and I've got a few weird ones that it's like, really, that's what set you off, but it does every
Awesome.
time.
Yeah.
So
Bonus points if it's a unique one, if it's like something that nobody had ever thought of.
yeah. Well, this one, I mean, it is
Step
a sad
Brothers.
moment, but we'll see. You
You
have to wait until next week to find out.
there's a moment in Step Brothers that makes you cry. Like that's gonna be a big
If
one.
you
Something
say
like
that, if you say that, I'm gonna just think you're lying, because there is no moment in Step Brothers that is, that's gonna make you cry.
Is there not?
No.
You know,
Step Brothers, no way.
when they finally come together at the Catalina wine mixer and boats and
No.
hoes and all of that, like you
No.
you couldn't find.
You cannot shed a tear in that movie unless it's because you're laughing so hard.
Yeah,
that
laughter
you're
doesn't
crying.
count too. That's not even where
That's
we're
it.
going. So yeah, I thought Step Brothers was a good example of, like, if you got a crazy one, bonus points.
Yeah. Yeah. Leave those comments on our Facebook page, because I'm really looking
And
forward to these.
A bonus for us too, we might end up gaining a couple new movies to add to the list
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
for your Under a Rock reviews, which I think is the perfect segue. All right, I love that.
Of course you do.
Yes, I do.
All right, so
It is time for Naomi's Under a Rock review of
we're going to do Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. Wayne's World. Party time. Excellent.
You just wanted to do that so bad.
So much.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to do something a little bit more funny this week. Needed a little bit more comedy.
Yeah, we had the serious drama of Rain Man last
Yeah.
week, and
And again, thought about doing Green Mile, but I just, when you're not feeling a serious movie, you can't do a serious movie.
we've got a couple of those nice, serious, long sits coming up that we'll get into for sure.
But first, Wayne's World.
Hell yes, 1992 Saturday Night Live movie. I love it.
So I have seen the sketches on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Many, many times. I have seen pieces of the movie. I never knew what the actual movie was about.
Yeah,
Except for like they have a TV show.
this is one of my, like childhood favorites. Quote it with the friends all the time and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I'm definitely excited to hear your review.
Well, they do have a lot of lines that are great for quoting. All right, so everything starts off. Garth and Wayne, they have their cable access show from Wayne's basement, which I didn't even know that it was from Wayne's basement, but I knew they had a TV show. I left a note in here is, what the heck is with the way they talk? Specifically talking to the camera when they're not doing the show. Because Wayne does that weird thing with his head and like makes the faces and does all that stuff. And then Garth only opens half of his mouth.
Yeah,
90% of the time.
They're just characters, man.
They're just, and that took me a minute to kind of get used to. Like, I got that they were playing characters, but it was just so
They're sort of cartoonish.
insane. Yes.
And the fourth wall breaks are fantastic.
Yeah, I was fine with that. I mean, I think I've seen enough movies where they've started doing that, like Deadpool and all that,
Sure.
where it makes it fun when they do.
Yeah.
But just the goofy faces. Some of it was just too much.
I love it.
So cruising around town, the famous Bohemian Rhapsody scene. I knew that one.
Heck yes.
I've seen that one. Everybody has, even if you haven't seen the movie, even if you have no idea what Bohemian Rhapsody is, you know this scene.
Yes, you do. It is definitely a classic, famous, all-time scene.
Loved the ex-girlfriend scene between Stacy and Wayne, where she bought him a present, but they just broke up. The whole, well, just because we broke up doesn't mean we can't go out. And Wayne's like, no,
Are you mental?
that's exactly what that means.
Yeah, right.
And the fact that she got him a gun rack, but he doesn't even own one gun. That whole little...
That line is one of my all-time favorites that, I don't even own a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate an entire rack.
Yes, it was pretty funny. A lot of witty writing throughout the movie. So yeah, love that scene. One of those, not one-liners, but the little quotable moments. Are you gonna marry her? Marriage is a punishment for shoplifting in some countries.
Love it.
Yeah, I wrote that one down. I want to keep that one forever because that's funny.
It's fantastic.
So Rob Lowe shows up. He offers Wayne and Garth the $5,000 for signing the contract for Wayne's World. That's the classic bad guy scene.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to be good. They're going to either own the show or ruin the show, or something bad is going to happen from this.
Rob Lowe as a bad guy in 2 Saturday Night Live movies. Tommy Boy in this one.
Yeah. And dresses just horribly.
Oh, right. The
Oh
yuppie.
my gosh. One of the outfits he was wearing, I swear, his pants were up to his nipples. Like, I'm like, how is he wearing that right now?
And
Like, did they do that on purpose to dress him funny, or
It's the
was
super,
that a style?
the
Because
super
no.
yuppie. The pleated khaki pants thing and all
It
that.
was awful.
Yeah, it
oh
was
my
great.
gosh, I got distracted. That's what I hit a wall on, was his clothing. Jeez. I started just paying attention to that.
It's great that you say that, because at one point, I think it was like the apartment scene where they're at his apartment in Chicago where
Yeah.
he's, all yuppied out. And I did the same thing. I'm like, look at his stupid clothes.
Yeah, what the hell is he wearing?
Those pleats were just,
Ugh. It just
Till
just
Tuesday.
awful. So yeah, Rob Lowe offers them the money. At one point, he asks Garth, "How do you feel about a change for the show?" and Garth, not missing a beat, "We fear change."
and very deadpan too. Like,
Yeah. So again, some of those like one-liner responses and that quick wit I really liked. There was a lot of it throughout the movie. A lot of goofy writing, quite a bit over the top and all that. Again, I know it's like characters and it's Saturday Night Live, so it is way over the top.
Yeah, for sure.
Garth banging on the drums when they're in
like
the
to play.
music. Yeah, when they're in the music store, that was really cute.
Yeah, Dana Carvey can actually play drums, so that's him.
He got his moment there.
Yeah.
And glad that Wayne finally got that guitar. He used that money that Rob Lowe gave him to get that guitar that he had been eyeballing for so long.
Oh yes, it will be mine.
Yeah. Had a feeling when Rob Lowe gave Wayne and Garth backstage passes to Alice Cooper that it was so something could happen. And, of course, he spent that time talking with Cassandra, the lead singer from the girl rock group that Wayne's got this huge crush on.
Tia Carrera.
Is that her name?
Yep.
Okay.
She was big in the 90s.
I don't know who she is. Cassandra. That's all I know. I didn't know if it was something like he wanted to get close to her. He just wanted to kind of break up their relationship or what the deal was with that. But yeah, so that, you got to have that good and bad fight in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. Him getting in the middle of that and, trying to ruin Wayne's World, the show.
What'd you think of the whole backstage VIP all access Alice Cooper situation? That was fantastic, right?
That was so over the top as well.
Now, when they're walking through the crowd and through the halls backstage, holding their passes out on the lanyards, waving them around, that reminds you of anything? Because I have done that with you in a couple of occasions at least.
I just think it looks tacky.
That's what I would do. I always did that any chance I could because of Wayne's World.
But it's who cares? If you're not meant to be back here, they'll kick you out. I promise you. You don't need to be showing everyone, look, backstage, I belong back here. And then again, the goofy writing where it's Alice Cooper is telling them about
Milwaukee
and
Milwaukee.
the Indians that used to live there and all of this kind of stuff. Instead of partying and getting drunk and getting all crazy. Because, no, that's what you do backstage.
That's great.
You party and have fun and all that.
The one guy just pipes in from the side. It's wasn't it actually, isn't that name Native American or something like that? And it's that's right, Pete.
Yeah. So again, goofy. And I liked
Alice
the goofy moments. And to be a team player to do a movie like this. That was pretty cool. All right, so Cassandra's in Chicago. They're shooting a music video and all that. She's with Rob Lowe and Wayne and Garth. Everybody had a falling out. Garth and Wayne got into a huge fight. He lost his show because he was not the smartest person.
No, definitely
about the
not.
show.
Yeah.
Where he, what was it? The arcade sponsor of the show.
Brian Doyle Murray. Yeah.
Came in and sat down to be a special guest on Wayne's World, and he had wrote notes on the back of his question card.
Notes.
Inappropriate things. And it's what did you think was going to happen? That they were just going to be hey, don't do that next time? Of course you're going to lose your show.
Yeah.
This is not your mom's basement anymore. You can't do that.
And they, he ended up leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So lost the show. Him and then Garth was stuck there and just being weird. So put his friend in a bad situation. Of course, his friend's mad at him. They have a falling out. He got into the fight with Cassandra because she's going to shoot that music video and all that. So classic movie. The world's falling apart. All that. So he goes to Chicago to go basically rescue Cassandra while she's trying to shoot this music video. And then where he hits the camera and is there's not even film in here, and then the film just starts pouring out, of course.
That was great.
It just
There's so many just goofy, it's all based on cartoon actions and stuff. When he does the whole swing thing like that. And
yes,
stuff, it's fantastic. I love it.
I get it. And it is very cartoon-ish. I don't know. I guess because it's not a cartoon that I don't know. I don't see it the same way.
And so did you ever watch Laverne and Shirley?
No.
So the whole scene where they recreate the opening to Laverne and Shirley just totally over your head, right?
When they went to
The bottling
Milwaukee,
plant
and they stuck the glove on the bottle.
Schlemiel, Schlemazel.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me.
That's the whole beginning of Laverne and Shirley.
Oh yeah, I had no idea what they were doing.
I'm gonna have to show you that after we record, just so now you'll be oh, well, there's that.
But yeah, so anyways, they are, he's over there trying to rescue Cassandra, hits the camera, all the tape falls out, whatever. Again, very cartoony-ish, all that. And then it just... So she loses everything, he blew it for her and all of that kind of stuff. And he's like, okay, gotta give her that one chance. The weird mention of Mr. Big being at the Alice Cooper show that they went to.
Chris
and it's
Farley.
like, hey, we're going to bring this situation back because we're going to hook up a satellite and all this crazy crap to set up a video in Wayne's parents' basement house. Set up the video of her music video, basically, Cassandra's music video, and, again, bounce the signal off a bunch of satellites all the way to Mr. Big's limo so it could interrupt whatever he is watching and he would be able to watch her perform and sign her a record deal. Which was just ridiculous.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
The mega happy ending is I think how they called it, right?
Yes, so they kept doing the Scooby-Doo thing and changing the ending. So I did like, yeah, they had, 3 different endings that they chose from. I think the Scooby-Doo ending was the best, though, where they took the mask off Rob Lowe to see who he was, and it was the old guy from the donut shop that they always go to.
Yep.
But the super happy ending was a little too happy. I'm definitely not here for that. And the first one was really weird. So the movie's ending where it's, Mr. Big shows up at the house and is like, oh yeah, I heard you perform, just amazing, all this stuff, but right now's not the right time, or whatever he says. And basically is just like, you're not getting a record contract.
The worst possible ending.
Yeah, and then there's the fire because everything apparently caught on fire, and Wayne is carrying Garth out, or the other way around.
Yeah, something
and
like that. Yeah, that's the worst possible ending.
Yeah, and so when that happened, I was just kind of
confused.
Yeah, but more like okay, this is a unique way to end a movie.
Yep.
And then it's like, hey, wait a minute. Let's change this. Let's do a different ending, So then they did the Scooby-Doo one, and then they did the super happy ending. And I think they could have ended on the Scooby-Doo one. That was a good spot.
I thought so. As I was watching it again too, I'm like, ooh, they should just stop there.
Yeah.
But, they had to do the whole. I feel like they were making fun of stuff in there and all of that.
Well, yeah, because so many movies have that super happy ending, and I can't stand that. I really can't. If there's one way for me to hate a movie faster, is if the ending is everything works out perfectly.
Make it super goopy and perfect.
Yeah, because that's not how life goes. Like, yes, you can have the main storyline all come back together and be awesome, but you can't add more to that. The more you add to that, the worse the ending gets. Just saying. But yeah, so a lot of Wayne's World isn't really anything going on, I realized during that movie. It is definitely like a Saturday Night Live movie.
Oh, for sure.
There were so many chunks of the movie where I'm like, this isn't important, is it? No, it's not. Okay, this is just goofy stuff.
I love it. It was a pretty early Saturday Night Live movie, too. Definitely not the first, because, they were making stuff a while before that, but a fairly early one, obviously before Tommy Boy and some of the ones that you know a little bit better, but definitely it is a Saturday Night Live movie for sure. Yeah, Michael McKean in it and all that. There's just some of the older Saturday Night Live characters and stuff that just, the hell is that? I don't even think that picked up on the recording, but anyway, computer making noise. But yeah, so super over the top Saturday Night Live for sure. So is that the end of your notes?
That's it.
All right. So
I wrapped up the movie.
It is time for, I didn't know if maybe you had any closing notes or anything like that. So here's our general review questions that we ask after every one of Naomi's Under a Rock reviews. Number 1, did you like it?
I did. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would.
Really?
Yeah. I
Okay.
did like it, though.
Is that, you think, because of the age of the movie?
No, I don't know. Maybe it's just overhyped for me.
Okay.
Because I've heard so much about it. I've heard people talking about it. I've heard people quoting it. I've seen people dress up like Wayne and Garth for Halloween.
Like a bajillion times,
yeah,
right?
and all of that stuff. So, and again, I've seen the skits on Saturday Night Live. So when they put a whole story behind it, it was just like, meh, I'm here for like the one-liners and all that kind of stuff. I didn't need an hour and a half of it.
So the one thing that I was wondering if we were going to run into with many of the movies that you're going to be reviewing is the hype. Because like Wayne's World, where everybody's like, no, it's perfect. Or Hocus Pocus was one of the first ones.
That was
like,
the first
what?
one that we reviewed, and I didn't like it.
That was the first one, yeah.
Because it was so overhyped.
Way overhyped. Okay, so there's that. But you did like Wayne's World.
I did like it, yeah.
All right. What did you know about Wayne's World before?
Just the Bohemian Rhapsody thing. I knew it was a Saturday Night Live sketch. You know, I knew Wayne and Garth. So
okay, what were your thoughts going in?
I knew it was a funny, goofy movie, so that's what I was looking forward to. You know, laughing a little bit and all that,
and having some fun. Okay,
yeah.
Let's see here. What surprised you about Wayne's World?
I don't think anything surprised me about it. Okay, yes, no, something did surprise me. That guy married with children being in it. What is his name?
Ed O'Neill.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Al Bundy from Married with Children, or
yes.
Jay Pritchett from Modern Family
Yep.
more recently. But yeah, Ed O'Neill, yeah.
And he was so weird in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh. Absolutely.
But seeing him, that was surprising.
Yeah, from way back in the day, too.
All right. Yeah, he looked so young. I couldn't believe it.
For sure. But watching him, I was like, yeah, he kept all the same mannerisms and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Would you have liked it more or less if you saw it when you were younger?
I think I would have liked it more if I saw it younger. I think I think I would have just been able to get into it more, and you know, I'm getting old and cranky, I guess.
All right.
That wouldn't happen.
What was your favorite part of Wayne's World? Yeah, you do have to kind of suspend reality when you watch movies, you know?
Yeah, well, I don't like to. Favorite part? I guess, again, probably like the one-liners or the goofy scenes, like every time Stacy came by, and she got Wayne on a freaking necklace. And she was so weird.
She just wipes out into the car on her bicycle that one time.
Yeah, breaks her neck or whatever. She got that like foam collar on. And the whole, you know, buying him a present, and I don't know. She's just goofy.
Okay.
So that it was always funny, and I knew when she was coming back into the scene, like, this is going to be funny, you know.
All right, good one. What was your least favorite part?
Least favorite part? Does Rob Lowe's clothes count?
Yes.
Because that definitely was my least favorite part of the movie.
Man, if you haven't seen Wayne's World in a long time, just go back and look. And then watch Tommy Boy, which is a couple years later, because he's still dressed almost the same, like very, you know, yuppie, weird, just the pleats. It's the pleats. It really is.
Yeah, so I think that, and maybe the whole, like, when Cassandra's going to do the music video scene and all that, like, I don't know. It just made it more of a movie and less of the Saturday Night Live skit that I expected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good answer. Well put. Let's see here. Would you recommend it to someone else who hasn't seen it?
Sure. I think enough people talk about it that you should watch it. I'm not going to get your hopes up about it, though.
So you won't overhype it?
No.
All right. Will you watch it again?
I don't think I need to.
Okay. Will you stop and watch it if it's on TV?
That is a loaded question. It depends on what else is on. And if I'm waiting for something or if I'm just channel surfing. If I'm just channel surfing, probably. But I don't know.
All right. Are you going to watch Wayne's World 2?
There's a second?
Yeah. He puts on Wayne stock.
Oh, gosh. I'm curious. I guess I could try it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And finally, are you happy you watched Wayne's World?
I am. Again, there were some things that I some goofy jokes that I didn't know and was like, oh, okay, that's why people do it. Okay, Wayne's World. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have those connections. So, of course, I'm happy I watched it.
Coming into the fold, crawling out from under that rock slowly but surely.
Yes.
With every
Slowly.
with every watch of every movie and every Under a Rock review.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Well, I am glad that you didn't absolutely hate one of my favorite movies of all time, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, cool. All right, so Wayne's World 2 for next week then. Sounds like a plan.
No.
All right.
I need a couple weeks in between that.
And when
Again, it wasn't bad. I really do think that it was overhyped for me, and that's what made it come crashing down.
I can absolutely see that because, you got to remember, when are Saturday Night Live movies that great
That
also,
is true.
So
And
there's
again,
there's kind
it's
of
like
that thing.
they really have to stretch to make it a story
Yeah.
that's going to last an hour and a half. That movie is an hour and 35 minutes
Yeah.
long. When I saw that, I was like, oh,
This is going to be
this is going to go
easy.
real fast and
It's
all
a
that.
quick sit.
So yeah, I do feel when you get to those comedic movies like that, yeah, it's going to be stretched. The storyline's going to be a little goofy,
Oh, yeah.
So
Lots of filler. Lots of singing.
yes, filler. Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Well, thank you for sitting and watching Wayne's World with me. Appreciate it and appreciate your review. That's something we don't do enough around here is thank you for taking the time to sit and watch these movies that we've all seen and then review them. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
I've been enjoying this.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. The homework for this week. What movie always makes you cry?
That's right.
Sure as hell ain't Wayne's World for Naomi.
No, no.
What movie moment always makes you cry? We want to know the moment. And like we said, if you can come up with a crazy movie that most people don't cry at, definitely let us know.
We want to hear. Absolutely.
Definitely let us know. All right,
That's
so
it.
that is it for the Under a Rock review of Wayne's World for this week. Stay tuned for next week. We don't know what movie we're going to watch yet, but that's part of the fun. You'll find out right after we do,
That's right.
basically.
All right, it's time for your thought of the day.
Thought of the day, thought of the day. It's your thought of the day, thought of the day.
All right. People are more angry when you almost cause an accident than if you really do cause an accident.
I- Something to be said for shock, I suppose.
I guess.
All right, that's an interesting one.
That'll make you think a little bit after this.
A little bit, all right.
Getting deep on Luke and Naomi.
Wow, okay.
All right, Luke, you gonna leave us with a laugh?
I'm going to do my best.
We're just a pendulum here from one side to the other.
Oh.
Deep thoughts, and now make us laugh.
You know what? As we get to the dad jokes and,
Yeah.
and the dad joke book from Brian over in England,
Yeah.
I forgot to read Brian's answer for the homework for this week, so I got to do that
Shame on
quickly.
you. Shame on you.
Of course, what would you treat yourself to regularly if money was no object? He says he would love to get a professional cook to come around his house all the time.
Yes.
And now I feel even worse for not reading this, when we were talking about all of this stuff. But he says not only cook for me, but to teach me how to cook fancy food.
Wow. That's a great answer that you want to learn that skill. I would just keep that cook around and just be like, nah, screw it. He can always cook food.
And then he's got one more. He
Okay.
said, I would also get Hidden Valley Ranch to direct ship Naomi and myself a ton of ranch.
I would love that, and I hope somehow you get that to happen. We go to Costco and buy the big two giant. I don't want to call them tubs because they're not tubs.
Brian's over in England and cannot get
Oh, yeah,
Hidden
that's
Valley Ranch
right.
unless he
I'm
orders it on
sorry.
Amazon or something like that.
I
so
am not
we're just
trying to
rubbing
rub
it in.
that in.
Absolutely. If you're new to Luke and Naomi, Naomi's affinity for ranch is well known, far and wide, precedes her, and we've
ranch.
we've got people in the UK now hooked on it.
Because Hidden Valley Ranch is amazing.
Yeah, go check out the video where Brian had us try the UK equivalent of ranch, and it's not ranch, that's for sure.
It's not. No.
All right. So thank you, Brian, of course, for writing in, and thank you for the 100 greatest dad jokes of all time. Are you ready?
Ready.
Dad advice: never open emails about canned meat. It's spam.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Boo.
All right, one more.
Better be better.
What do you call an illegally parked frog?
I don't know.
Toad.
That was dumb. That was so dumb.
That is one of my all-time favorites.
Why?
'Cause it's just perfect.
It's not.
toad.
No.
I love it. I love it. All right, that
All right, we're done.
That wraps up episode 35 of Luke and Naomi on air and Naomi's Under a Rock review of Wayne's World. Thanks so much for taking the time to hang out with us for another hour.
That's right.
35 times.
It's a lot of hours.
We appreciate you. Tell your friends. Don't forget you can find us anywhere you can get podcasts. And, of course, find us on the TikTok and Luke and Naomi on air on Facebook. It's Luke and Naomi on air pretty much everywhere.
Everywhere.
If you Google it, you'll find us. So no excuses for not telling your friends.
That's right.
How about that? All right. We will see you next week for episode 36.
That's right.
In the meantime, have some fun this week and be excellent to each other.
Love you. Bye.